Bam, it's closed. All right. This behind me is BAM. All right, the center of banana. What is it called? The Central dos Bananas? No, the Banana Museum, exactly. I need to have one more coffee before we can kickstart this video, but this place has eluded me for some time because every time I try and come here, something happens, and today it's closed. So I thought this would be a good place for me to actually get some info. It seems we have to work a little bit harder, so we're gonna go and get a coffee, but Louise, who's with us today, filming, has been inside here before, so maybe we're gonna get some footage. But if not, he says that there's some really interesting things happening here. So you can come Tuesday to Sunday, right? And you can come and learn everything about the Madeiran banana. Apparently they do like DNA tests and stuff inside here, hey, or the laboratory tests. You know, they got research, and I'm assuming that there's a whole lot of stories and things about the Madeira banana. Unfortunately, we can't see this today, but you see the pink Land Rover. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the history of Ponta do Sol, because you guys like these videos, and we're gonna try and figure some of that out ourselves so that we can bring something new to this vlog. Don't go anywhere, it should be fun. Let's go. Let's get out of here. You were speaking to the people here at the museum, and that this is actually the very last Monday that they will be closed. So we hit the jackpot. It's also kind of a place where the farmers can go to get some apoio, to get some support. The farmers can go there, and if they need any kind of help, and then they got support from the business, of course, from the government, of course. Everything that is agriculture at the moment has got a large support from the government. But you know, today we're talking bananas. In America they say bananas. We say bananas. How do you say it, Luis?
Bananas.
Bananas. Bananas, bananas, bananas. A lot of art in Ponta do Sol. And what I wanted to mention, basically, really, now that we're here on camera, finally we can see people on the beach. And finally today I'm in shorts and t-shirts. It is the end of April, and we are all looking forward to some heat because it's been a little bit of a cold and wet winter. At the top there is the old cinema of Ponta do Sol, and Andrea actually did a great video about that, about the history of cinema in Madeira. So if you want to know more about that, all right, then check that video out. We'll put it up over here. And then up here as well, this is where they used to have the Royal Path, which is also a lot of history. And if you come with us on our Jeep tours, this is one of our stops on the west side. But what we are going to do now, because this is another story, all right? This is different history. Today we're talking about bananas, or bananas. And we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a coffee and a pastel nata, because I feel like it. And we're gonna look for some information, old school style, yeah? Yeah? We found something here in the Bible. I don't know what I was thinking when I thought that I could read a 1,000 something page book whilst building the best tour company in the world and raising a family. Whose idea was this? Right, so there's 2 pages on fruits, vegetables and cereals. So what I'm looking for is basically for when they actually decided to start growing bananas. Because I do remember reading in another book, which maybe I should have actually brought with me, but I remember reading that there was, I think it was during the crisis of the grapes, of when the vineyards were all dying out. Whoa, that's too bright. They decided to diversify, and that's why we've got bananas. Otherwise we would only have wine. So diversification was probably the big reason why we brought bananas into Madeira, but I'm looking for a little bit more, you know. I've been looking in the Bible. It's my new Bible. Okay, I just saw here somewhere that in Ponta do Sol there was 3,000 something pumpkins. right, in the 15th century. So I'm having a bit of a tough time finding anything related to bananas in this book. The theory that I remember was that they introduced bananas to Madeira to not rely solely on one product. Somebody saw the flux, the up and down of wine, and whenever they weren't selling wine, then the whole island was suffering. So they decided to diversify with bananas. I just looked online now on another website that seemed to be a Madeiran website, which is called Projeto Madeira. And here it says that it was introduced, that the bananas were introduced sometime between the 15th and 16th century. Some people say that they came from China. It's not well known, says George Diaz, president of GESBA, the government banana company, the cooperative. Yeah. All right, cool. There we go. And we're gonna go past, we're gonna see, maybe we can get some luck at the cooperative today, who knows? And yes, I'm not good with homework, all right? I'm a person of hands, I like to get things done on the job. Yeah, I couldn't find anything. From what I looked over here in this book, it's giving most of the importance to the cereals, the wine, and the sugar cane, which we already know. And even in Ponta do Sol, they did say that there was a lot of it being grown here. I think I'm gonna try and call Lisa, who's read this book. Maybe she'll know of something, hey? This looks perfect. It's nice and flaky, huh? I need to stop doing this. There's too many pastels nata in me on a weekly basis. Hey Lisa, tudo bem? Por aqui, tenho aqui uma pequena dúvida. Eu estou a fazer um vídeo hoje da história da banana. Tens alguma ideia de quando é que foi introduzida a banana?
Já no século XVI.
Século XVI?
Sim, já está na Madeira desde o século XVI, mas só se tornou mesmo importante no século XX.
Pois.
No início do século XX. Porque no início do século XX ainda havia a produção de aguardente, no início do século XX, e houve um período que havia um grande problema qual foi a Madeira. E então foi nessa altura, deve ser por volta de 1920, mais ou menos, talvez um bocado antes, que eram muito fortes dos engenhos. Muitos engenhos foram fechados porque a Madeira foi conhecida como a ilha do Plantation. E então foi no início do século XX que eles substituíram muita da cana-de-açúcar
Com banana.
com a bananeira. Eu já tinha começado também um bocadinho antes, acho que também no século XIX, por causa da filoxera e do ódio. Também já tinham substituído algumas, mas foi essencialmente no século XX, no início do século XX, que substituíram por causa desse problema do álcool na Madeira.
Só a tua autorização para usar um bocadinho deste no vídeo.
Está bem, ok.
Sim, ok, boa.
Coisa liga.
Depois falamos, okay? Yeah, it's big smile, okay? Everything's gonna be okay. Okay, you too. Ciao, ciao, bye bye. We got it. We got something. Let's get out of here and then we'll get into it. We're just outside GESBA, the cooperative of the bananas here in Madeira. This is where it's basically a cooperative that buys all the bananas from the farmers and then markets, distributes and sells them out across Portugal. From what I know, the Madeiran banana is not sold in the EU, so we don't sell it outside of Portugal. And I believe that this is for political reasons, all right? I've heard that the banana is either too curved or too straight or some story like that. I'm pretty sure that that's some kind of an excuse, because I believe that the EU gets most of their bananas from Spain, from the Canary Islands, but don't quote me on that. You can see here we've got an example of a nice old banana truck over here, and he's got his bananas here ready to offload, probably out on lunch. It is about lunchtime. And something that I find quite interesting, and still things that I've heard and that I've learned over the years, is that they actually pad up the bananas like this, right? So you can see they've got these mattress-like padding over here. They've covered them up. They've got the blue covers on the bananas as well. And the idea is that they really look after the banana, because once they drop it off at the cooperative, if it's damaged, if there's a lot of bruising on the banana, then they get less money for it. So that's why when you're driving around Madeira and you see people picking bananas and putting them onto the vans, they are very, very careful. It's like looking after a baby. And it's ironic because it takes 9 months to grow a bunch of bananas. We're gonna get into that as well. But yeah, this is a cool little truck. Love this place. By the way, this is one of my little secret trails, and we're not filming it because we've already filmed that. So yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here. Too much yapping. Can't pass up free water, right? Here we can see a couple of good things. Over here, first of all, this is the old mother plant, and you can see it's been cut diagonally, and apparently they do this so that the water kind of falls off it when it rains, because if you leave it like flat, then the water's going to sit on top and it's going to rot the plant. Now, I don't know why they're so interested in keeping the plant kind of half alive, you know, because this is a bunch that has given bananas and they've cut it. But this one here, this one's actually flat. Look, this one's been cut directly like that, 90 degrees. Maybe this one was too big or something, I don't know. It takes 9 months to grow a bunch of bananas. Now, I'm not a banana farmer, but this is what I've heard, right? And it takes 3 months for a plant to grow to start giving bananas. So the whole process of starting to finish takes a year. This is a plant and not a tree. Ideally, it's very fibrous inside. You can kind of actually see in here. The interesting thing is that it only gives one fruit in its life, one plant. So that's why they killed this plant. So for instance, this tree over here, probably a good couple of months, this tree is going to grow bigger. It's going to give a bunch of bananas. You're going to cut the bananas and you're going to sell it to the cooperative. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kill this plant once, and I think only once, the little plants start to grow alongside it. And then a new plant will grow and the process continues. So one plant gives one bunch of bananas, and this is how they do it. These the bananas get these little tips, and he's actually taken these tips off, cleaned it up. The plants look real nice and clean. You can see that he's using the leftovers to mulch the ground, to give nutrients to the ground. I believe also that this plant needs no pollination, which is something new. I didn't know that. I read it online, and what they do is they just keep cycling different plants at different times of the year. So the farmers can actually have money throughout the year because they are just cycling different plants at different times. So this plant will give, you know, in 3 months, maybe another plant that won't be ready next month. You know, this one is probably ready in a couple of weeks. So every kind of month or two, they've got bananas. And in places like this, in Madeira do Mar or the southwest coast, it's where you've got the best climate. So bananas thrive in a nice, warm, coastal climate. You can see that the levadas are here. Obviously they use the levadas to water. It looks like over here has been watered very recently. And finally, we got the bags. These plastic bags are to give more heat to the bananas so that they grow just a little bit faster. It creates kind of like a little mini microclimate for them to grow faster. And apparently the blue also repels certain bugs. All right, I know that they use blue bags as well in the Canary Islands and in other places that they grow bananas, or Caribbean probably as well. But here you do see blue bags every now and then. We're at one of my favorite places, Ponta in Madeira do Mar. It's been a while since I've been here, to be honest. But this place is pretty well known amongst locals for great seafood. It takes a little bit of time, all right, but it's well worth it. Remember, if you want to support this channel, you can find us on Patreon. And I've compiled a list of our favorite 35 restaurants, my favorite 35 restaurants in Ireland. Doesn't mean they're the best, doesn't mean they're all local, doesn't mean they're all cheap, doesn't mean they're all expensive. It's just a group of 35 restaurants that I love, that you can have access to when supporting this channel. So check out our Patreon. You know, the things we do for the vlog. We're having some prawn or shrimp starters. I don't think I've been here in a couple of years. The last time I came here was probably about 2 years ago. Scabbards, and in this place they actually don't do it with banana. So a lot of people know one of our traditional dishes, scabbard fish with banana. Here they don't do it. So brings up again the story of, is it local, is it not local? You know, did we invent this dish to sell it to tourists, kind of thing? I've heard all of these stories, but again, I've had spade con banana at my mother-in-law's house, and we love it, so I love it. But a good scabbard fish is always nice. This is going to be our fish and chips today. Sure. This is a half portion, eh? They said. Didn't they say half portion?
Yeah.
Looks great.
That was the special stuff.
Yeah. Just like the wine, the sugarcane, and the cereal, we believe that the banana industry is going to slowly fade, if not disappear, right? The majority of people who are growing bananas and farming bananas are of the older generation, and we're not so sure if the young kids want to do this kind of thing anymore, right? Land like this that people's parents or grandparents used to farm is now worth a lot more money to developers and to anyone who wants to come and live in Madeira. So we're getting less and less people farming bananas and more people coming in and building. And again, this is happening to the vineyards as well as the sugarcane as well. Why are we going to put in all of this hard work when you can, you know, do a different type of work and get paid much better? This is a narrative that's not new. But I like to come to this place to kind of give it some context, because here you can see banana fields all the way out there. And usually I tell my guests on my tours, I usually say I bring them to this place because I think this place is quite pretty and is one of my secrets. And I like to kind of give this perspective that I don't know for how much longer we'll be looking at these banana plantations until they get replaced with modern villas, apartments, and all sorts of things here on the south coast. What, you know, in 100 years, in 200 years, or maybe 200 is way too long, but maybe in 100 years, you know, what is Madeira going to be known for in this century, right? What are the traditions? Are there going to be traditions, or is it going to be just like a little bit of a copy of everything else? So it's all questions I kind of like to think about. Let us know what you think, right? Of course, we love to hear your comments. Comment down below what you'd like to see more of in this video. What do you think of the Ponta do Sol, the bananas, the history? What have I missed? You know, what would you like to see that I didn't speak about Ponta do Sol? Let us know. This is how we, you know, refine our channel and our ideas. And thank you for watching and sticking around, guys. The book is back out. And as we heard Lisa earlier in the video, she mentioned that it was in the beginning of the 20th century with the crisis of the rum. So we're gonna look, see if we can find this. Yeah, I'm on tourism already and roads and world wars, and it's not happening, not today. I did want to bring up a couple more facts. So what I was actually going to do here was that we were going to drink a beer that's made with banana. It's this latest craze. Maybe not the latest craze. I think it's probably been around for like a good year or so. 2 years maybe. Luis says he's tried it. And again, something else that I've been wanting to try for a long time, and I thought today was going to be the day, but it hasn't happened. So I did a little Google search, and I found a couple of things about the history of banana. So it says here the first banana plants landed in Madeira in the 16th century as a botanical curiosity. Later, dwarf Cavendish is the first commercial banana species planted in Madeira in the mid-19th century, which is what I would have thought, because that's phylloxera idiom time in the wine trade, so the wine trade would have crashed. Today, that sort of banana represents 60% of the cultivated banana area on Madeira, with the other species being Robusta and Grand Nain and Gal. I don't know anything about these. These were introduced in Madeira in 1993. There's the Bendy banana law, which I mentioned earlier. It says, Madeira used to proudly export its bananas throughout Europe. Nevertheless, this is no longer the case. Sadly, islanders tell a story about a Bendy banana law by the European Union describing the attributes, length, curve, etc. of a banana. Only bananas fulfilling all attributes can sell in Europe. However, Madeira bananas are mostly shorter, hence they can no longer be sold outside of Portugal, in the EU at least. The banana tree is a giant herb. They are leaves without a trunk, he explains, which is a good analogy. I've never thought of that. Plastic bags we see around the bunches serve to create a microclimate so they grow faster, yes. The fame of Madeira's banana is easy to explain. The island's good soil with an acidic pH, which we know already, provides slow but effective growth and aids in flavor. Then the proximity to the market makes it fresh to customer. And also, finally, the island's water quality. Each banana requires 20 liters of water daily, which also plays a part. Yeah, and that's it. So not too much online. Maybe a topic to come back to once I've actually read this gigantic book. And I'm kind of glad that we're not drinking beer right now, Luis, because I'm a bit full. I think the coffee is going to go down well. And then it's time for us to cut the line kind of thing. I think that's it, eh, Luis?
Let's hit the road.
Let's hit the road. Oh, like I say, I think beer wouldn't have gone down too well right now. Blessing in disguise, because we still got to go all the way to Garajal and Funchal and go back to our real jobs, right? And it's almost 4 o'clock. Good long video today.
Good luck.
Good long video. Well, hope you guys liked it. We'll see you later.